That's damage, but let's get it over with.
What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here. Welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I'm joined by Canadian Yorker. And we
What's up,
are
everybody?
here. And we are here to do our Monday Night Raw recap taking place on July 22nd, 2024, taking place in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I am back, guys. I was on vacation. It's great to be back. If you guys haven't checked out the last two broadcasts, I missed those. Canadian Yorker here did them on our WWE Wrestling Bros, so be sure to check those out if you guys wondering what happened if we ever did the two broadcasts. But I didn't because I was on vacation, so the Smackdown and the Raw that I missed, Canadian Yorker did it on the WWE Wrestling Bros, so be sure to check those out. Canadian Yorker, how's it going tonight?
It's going well. Glad to hear you back from your broadcast, and you got your tan. You enjoyed yourself. Had some great food. Saw those amazing beaches. It's great.
Yeah, by the way, sorry, good afternoon, not good evening. We're doing this in the afternoon. We had some, well, he was pretty busy, so we were supposed to do this broadcast yesterday night, but we kind of got slammed. Well, he got slammed, but we're here now, and this is the last Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam. We're gonna be doing our SummerSlam predictions later on, so can't wait. So let's get started. So first off, we start off with Seth Rollins making his entrance in the referee strip top. So if you guys don't know, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will finally have their one-on-one wrestling match at SummerSlam after beating each other up and hating on each other. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will officially get their match at SummerSlam, but with a twist. Seth Rollins will be the guest referee, so it's gonna be interesting. So CM Punk comes out and said that there's a lot of tension tonight directly from the office of Adam Pearce, and saying that, oh, if Drew McIntyre and CM Punk lay a finger on each other, then the match is off. CM Punk comes out as well with Drew McIntyre. CM Punk rolls out of the ring, and Drew McIntyre tells him not to be a coward and get back in the ring. CM Punk said he's not scared of either of them. He's afraid that he might do taking himself out of the situation. These three men just hate each other, so it's interesting to see what's gonna happen in this match. And they just talk about how, oh, you can screw me all you want, or you're gonna screw me, and basically that's just pretty much it. I don't want to talk too much about it. Punk said that he was absent for two for 10 years from the company, basically, and basically Drew McIntyre said he can't touch CM Punk, but promises CM Punk he has to wait until the bell. Drew McIntyre said the best thing is for his career is hurting CM Punk, and the worst thing is how big and tall and mean he is. Um, Drew McIntyre said that he's gonna destroy CM Punk once that bell rings, and he taunts CM Punk with a bracelet that has AJ and Larry's name on it. And CM Punk, I was like, careful, you can't touch Drew, but gets into Drew's face, ending the segment. So, what are your thoughts on this opening segment?
I think it's a lot to say. There's that this has been building up for some time, ever since CM Punk came back, ever since CM Punk screwed Drew and Drew messed with Punk. It's been a big build up, and we're finally seeing this the results of this. We're seeing CM Punk and Drew McIntyre fight each other at SummerSlam. This is we've been talking about this for months, and it's great to see that this is going to finally happen. It's great to see. We're going to see who's going to be the determined winner of. Well, if Drew McIntyre is going to be the one to get his revenge against CM Punk, is CM Punk going to defend the dignity and honor of his family and himself, um, and his dog, against Drew McIntyre, and an insult that Drew McIntyre has done to him for making fun of him after he was injured. Um, there's one thing I don't understand. Seth Rollins, and a lot of people online have been talking about Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins' involvement. So Seth Rollins interjected himself into this feud, and for him to be the special guest referee, Okay, that makes sense. But the thing is, here's the thing I don't understand. They said that they're making this feud happen because both wrestlers are gonna do what Seth Rollins wants them to do. That's the only rule they have to follow. To be honest with you, it would make more sense if this was a bad blood type of match, a steel cage type of match, something like that. And I could see instead of Seth Rollins being sort of a special guest referee, um, he could be someone on commentary, just doing commentary for the match, which would make it really interesting because CM Punk was the one who did commentary for Drew McIntyre's match against Seth Rollins when he was the challenger. Um, they would that would make it a little bit more interesting and funnier for them to do that. Um, but for Seth Rollins to be a guest referee, I feel like the WWE. Some people have said that WWE has kind of killed the momentum with inserting Seth Rollins into this feud with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre being there. But I feel like Seth Rollins doesn't need to have a direct role and involvement in this match. They just need to be a regular referee. You need to have Drew and Seth be there, and Seth. I'm sorry, Drew and CM Punk be there, and Seth just has to be a commentator essentially, doing this thing. But he doesn't have to be directly involved. You know what I'm saying? And as much as these guys hate each other, it's really great to see that there's a lot of animosity here. Um, but I mean, I'm excited to see what the match is gonna bring and what's gonna happen. Man. Well, let's see what's gonna happen, guys.
All right, so moving on to the first match of Monday Night Raw, we got Akira Tozawa and Otis teaming up against the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius Creed. So we saw obviously Brutus and Julius Creed finally align themselves with Chad Gable. And this was a okay for match, I guess. We kind of knew who was gonna win. Chad Gable once again runs interference. Creed brother gets under Otis in the turnbuckle, double back suplex. And I'm surprised that even took out Otis. The Creed brothers defeats Otis and Tozawa by pinfall with that double back suplex. Post match, the Creed brothers and Chad Gable attack Otis. Chad Gable puts the ankle lock on Otis, but Maxine the Brain jumps in and jumps on Gable tried to save Otis, but then Maxine slaps the shit out of Chad. It's like, yeah, about time. But then before Chad could do anything, it goes dark and the Wyatt Six appears at ringside. And finally, the Wyatt Six has unmasked. You see Dexter Loomis, you see Eric Roman, and you see Joe Gacy. They have finally unmasked the three of them, and Nikki Cross on the top rope takes out Chad Gable, while Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis takes the Creed brothers down. Chad Gable makes his entrance but runs into Uncle Howdy and turns tail to run out of there, um, ending the segment. So, Goosebumps, man, they finally unmasked and they're finally going to have their first wrestling match next week. It's going to be Chad Gable and the Creed brothers versus Dexter Loomis, Erica Roman, and Joe Gacy in a six-man tag team match. So I can't wait to see the Wyatt Six's debut match next week. If you mind as Uncle Howdy, I'm kind of excited to when Uncle Howdy's going to have a match. But what are your thoughts on the Creed brothers defeating Tozawa and Otis?
I get the idea that the Creed brothers are the superior tag team, and let's just say this: the Creed brothers are really good. Otis and Tozawa didn't stand a chance against them because the Creed brothers are a really good tag team. They were one of the contenders for the tag team world championship, and I can see them being another contender for the tag team world champion again. Um, but I definitely believe that Otis and Tozawa deserve to win against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers because I mean after all that they have been through, all that Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine have been through, they needed a win against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. They didn't need this. They didn't need a loss. Obviously, your man Otis, he deserves better. He can definitely do anything. The sky is the limit for this guy. Now that Chad Gable is out the way, and for them to be saved by the Wyatt Six, that's great. I think that's wonderful. And it's good. It's going to be interesting to see how Chad Gable and the Wyatt Six are going to face off against each other. Um, next week on Raw. So I can't wait to see what that matchup will bring.
Alright, so moving on to the next match. We got Big Bronson Reed going one on one with Sheamus. And this was a banger of a match until at the end. Sheamus almost had this match won with a near fall with a pumped knee. Reed with a Death Valley driver and basically white noise. I thought the white noise is deadly when Sheamus does it for two. But then Pete Dunne is just doesn't like Sheamus. Sheamus doesn't like Pete Dunne. Sheamus just still doesn't understand why Pete Dunne betrayed him or something. So Pete Dunne runs in and cracks Sheamus with a shillelagh while the referee is distracted. Bronson Reed gets up and hits the 747 splash on Sheamus. Thanks to the interference by Pete Dunne, Bronson Reed defeats Sheamus by pinfall. What are your thoughts on this match?
You need to see a Sheamus versus Pete Dunne match at SummerSlam. We need to see it this Saturday. Okay, we need to see Sheamus versus Pete Dunne for real. I don't want to see Sheamus fighting Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed can go off and fight somebody else for a change. Okay, Bronson Reed needs a push into some other capacity. Oh, he could challenge Sami Zayn again for the championship. Um, but Pete Dunne, man, Pete Dunne obviously has something against Sheamus, and because Sheamus was injured and he couldn't get any help from Sheamus, so Pete Dunne is showing his wild side, and we need to see Sheamus versus Pete Dunne at SummerSlam this this week.
All right, so yeah, Pete Dunne. I just feel like Pete Dunne thinks that Sheamus walked out on the Brawling Brutes, but Sheamus was injured. What do you expect? I just maybe Pete Dunne doesn't want to get called Butch again. People just say that, but let's move on to the next match. We got Carlito versus main event Jey Uso. Didn't really see too much about this match. The match wasn't really that exciting. Like why? I guess Judgment Day wanted to get back to Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Carlito versus main event Jey Uso. Carlito was he's just a I don't know, he's just like weird. Carlito spit his apple. It's just what's going on with you and your apples, man. Because of that, Jey Uso was able to hit a spear to win the match. Nothing really happened in this match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jey Uso was able to hit a spear on Carlito to win the match. Jey Uso defeats Carlito by pitfall. What are your thoughts on this match?
Hey, Carlito and his spitting apples have been his trademark ever since he first did that to John Cena to win his match against, to win WWE Championship over John Cena. I think it was the U.S. Championship. Um, so, Carlito has been, he can be a good guy, he can be a bad guy. He's a tweener dude. Um, Jey Uso deserves a win. I think the Judgment Day is definitely targeting Carlito because, they're targeting Jay because they don't want they don't want to lose Rhea Ripley to Jey Uso, and so that is why it's actually really Dominic who is going after Jey Uso. Dominic doesn't want Rhea to switch sides and join Jey Uso, and so we'll have to see what's going to happen going forward with that.
Alright, so moving on, we got so by the way, Selena Vega, she just can't escape from Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. We saw Shayna Baszler seriously injuring Selena Vega's arm a couple weeks ago. But once again, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark roll up, trash talk, and once again targeted Selena Vega's arm. So that's just bad. Just a second, Selena Vega's getting attacked all over the place, and it's not looking good. But moving on, we got Karrion Kross versus Xavier Woods. Obviously, the feud between these two, Xavier Woods trying to persuade Xavier Woods to lose it and attack people or leave Kofi Kingston and join the dark side. But before they start their match, Karrion Kross said that, oh, he noticed that Kofi Kingston re-injured his shoulder in Japan. That's why he's not here, and he doesn't believe it. He said Kofi can't handle that Xavier's in the spotlight, and he wants to join the Final Testament, admit that the power of positivity is a lie. He also said Kofi Kingston he should have retired after he lost the WWE Championship in 6 seconds. So Karen Cross taking shots. But
Oh,
Xavier Woods had enough and just started punching Karen Cross to start the match. Xavier Woods did put up a fight. Um, but then I think did someone run interference? Yeah, they of course ran interference. I think I don't know, but Karen Cross was able to hit the final prayer on Xavier Woods to get the win, and that's just that. I don't know. It's just I feel bad for Xavier Woods. I think at this point Xavier Woods might just turn heel. I don't know. This is like coming into this is my own opinion. This is kind of like Rhea Ripley beating the shit out of Dominic Mysterio to force him to join the dark side. This is the same thing, except this is Karen Cross beating the shit out of Xavier, forcing him to turn heel. That could happen, but what are your thoughts of this match?
it's it's really strange. Um, I mean, what is the deal? What is Karrion Cross fascination with Xavier Woods? What does he see in Xavier Woods that he doesn't see in Kofi? Honestly, he's definitely taking shots at Kofi to try to break up the New Day. He's definitely playing mind games with them and really trying to get them to doubt one another and to split apart. And so right now, Xavier is isolated. Xavier is not able to do much by himself. He might have no other choice but then to join the Authors of Pain, unless he just willingly joins the Authors of Pain so that he can break them up from the inside, and he does it himself and joins and rejoins Kofi Kingston. But but right now, these guys are down a pair, so. I mean, we're gonna have to see what happens with them going forward.
Either like the thing is, I don't
We'll have to
think
see.
the Final Testament needs another member. I mean, that's gonna be a lot if Austin Creed joins them, but I just feel like maybe Austin's just gonna turn on Kofi and then go on his singles run. Maybe we might see a feud between Kofi and Xavier in the future, with Kofi being the face and Xavier being the heel. So we might see that. But we have to see what happens. But moving on, we got Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Just these squash matches. Didn't really too much. I don't know why they put these matches. I guess Judgment Day. It's just rivalries all over again, feuds all over again with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Um, Sami Zayn seems to have won this match with the hitting the exploder in the corner on Dominic Mysterio. Blue Thunder Driver connects, but then Carlito and JD McDonagh attacks Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn defeats Dominic Mysterio by disqualification. But then post match, Jey Uso makes the save, but once Judgment Day cleared off, Braun Breaker attacks Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn managed to send him packing. If you guys don't know, Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn will run it back. It's Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker round 2 at SummerSlam. So what are your thoughts on this match between Dominic and Sami?
It just came to my mind that with the Judgment Day continuing to target Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, it seems almost like Sami and Jey are being forced back into join hands together to become allies again, so that it almost seems like we're seeing something happen between the two of them, and that because there's speculation out there that Roman Reigns is going to be Roman Reigns is coming back this Saturday with SummerSlam, and also we might see all the members of the Bloodline join up together. You might see all of them together, but may or may not happen. We'll have to see. But I think that the Judgment Day they want something from they want to take out Jay, they want to take out Sammy, and we're gonna have to see how Sammy's gonna do to deal with Braun Breaker. So we'll have to see how things go.
All right, so moving on. We got another Wyatt VHS tape, which is focused on Dexter Loomis. So if you guys want to see that, it's on YouTube. I feel like each VHS tape is based on each member of the Wyatt Six. We saw, I believe, Nikki Cross last week. So if you guys want to check those out, they're going to be on YouTube. And Chad Gable going to Adam Pearce, setting up that six-man tag team match against those apparently freaks. So moving on to the next match, we got Caden Chance and Caden Carter teaming up with Lyra Vicaria, taking on the team of Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, and Zoe Stark in a six-woman tag team match. Um, like I said, I didn't really watch this match because I was out of town. But I know it was a close match. Lyra, I love Lyra, but they just like they need a. I feel like Lyra. Don't get me wrong. I think Lyra teamed up really well with Carter and Chance, but man, they just have to have that heel group, stand tall. Um, Lyra was the assistant co-breaker, but then Zoe Stark was able to hit her Z360 on Caden Chance to get the victory. But after the match, post-match, Damage Control makes their triumphant return and they stand tall in the ring. So, yeah, it's actually official, guys. I guess I was 100% right. So it's official. I looked it up online yesterday. Damage Control has become a babyface faction. So Damage Control is now a face faction right now. So it says online that their Dakota Kai is now a face. It says that Kairi Sane is now a face. It says that Io Sky is now a face. So there you go, guys. Damage Control has turned face. So that yeah, which is kind of confusing because there was no cheers for Damage Control, and they still act like a heel faction. But it's official though. It is official. They are now a babyface faction. So I guess I was right. I called it. I said they gotta make changes. Would you know? They come back as babyface faction. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Are they gonna probably try to bring Bayley back? Because at this point, maybe they'll be like, oh, maybe Bayley was right. Maybe we should have turned face with Bayley. But what are your thoughts on this?
I First of all, I mean, Isla, Candace, and Carter, man, it, I don't get it. It feels like Candace and Carter are not being used the way that they're supposed to be being used, you know. But we have Sonya, we have Zoe, we have uh, Shayna Baszler. You know, Shayna Baszler and Zoe are dangerous. But then you had Sonya in the mix. Now you have a deadly combination. And it just seems like they just overpowered them. They overpowered Lyra and Kate and Carter and uh, Chance and Carter. So it seems like they were too much for them. Now, for the part about damage control, it would make more sense instead of damage control being a being the faction that it is to just attack Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark. You know, we could basically have a heel attacking another heel group. That would make more sense. I don't really understand them going baby face, because there's no storyline for them to turn around all of a sudden and become a baby face. It just makes
I
sense.
think it's
We
because
can
they're
see them
gonna.
transition becoming.
I think because they're starting a huge feud between Damien Control against Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, and Shayna Baszler. I just feel like it wouldn't make sense to have two heels feud. I just feel like, oh, one of them should be a face. Why not just give Damien Control the edge to be a face? So I just feel like they didn't want two heels going at it.
Yeah. Well, I would think it would make more sense for them
Yeah,
to
and I
just
knew it was coming. I
we could
was
see a
right.
transition for
I
them.
called it. I called it. I said Damage Control is looking to make changes. Io Sky says changes have to be made. This is their change right here. Going from a heel faction to a face faction. That's their change right there. And you never
Well, if
know.
it is,
They
it is what it is. It is what it is then, because it all of a sudden they just
But I just
turn
didn't
face for no
like. I
reason, but
just
they
like
there's
didn't.
for
I just like. I kind of probably have an explanation why they didn't get a pop. If they were a face, people are like, if they were a face, why was there no pop? And I said, I think people are confused. I was like, are they still a heel or are they a face? So I think eventually later on, people will be like, oh, they're actually faces now. So I think that next week, Dakota Kai set up a match against Sonya Deville. I think Dakota Kai wins, and that's gonna be like, there's gonna be some pops. Like, yeah.
yeah.
All right, so moving on to the main event. Wow, this is gonna be a short video, hopefully. Moving on to the main event, we got Finn Balor versus Gunther. Finn Balor winning that match against Gunther because Gunther was talking shit and all. So Finn Balor and Gunther. I have no idea if these two ever faced against each other. I think this is the first time ever. I'm not quite sure. But man, Finn Balor putting up a fight, but Gunther is just showing that he's just strong. The chops, that's just like the amount of chops he hit on Finn Balor was just absolute deadly. Gunther gets the Gojira clutch and then to the power bomb for two. Back to the clutch. Finn Balor started to fade. The ring general falls to the mat with the hooks in. Finn Balor has nowhere to go, pass out. Gunther wins by referee stoppage by the Guja clutch. So Finn Balor had no chance against Gunther, and this was the main event. Ugh. Why was this the main event? So post-match, Gunther reapplies the coach clutch as the referee tries to prime his arm apart. Gunther is really sending a message to Damian Priest. Poor Finn Balor just got passed out. Damian Priest makes the save for his buddy, and he lays out Gunther with the right hook as the brawl goes to the floor. And that's pretty much the show. So that would do it, guys. So what are your thoughts on this main event?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Finn Balor versus Gunther. Of course, Gunther's going to win. Finn Balor, he can definitely go toe to toe with people, but it just wasn't his time. He's obviously in a bad matchup against Gunther, and Gunther just manhandled. Well, he just bear mauled him. He didn't manhandle him. He bear mauled him. Um, Honestly, it is what it is with that matchup, and Gunther won decisively. Uh, it seems like with Gunther choking out Finn Balor, Gunther wants to choke out Damian Priest at SummerSlam. He's gonna choke him out and just make him pass out, and that's how he's gonna win. Um, that's how I see the match ending, and that's the way it's gonna be. So we'll have to see what's gonna happen at SummerSlam.
Alright, so that would do it for Monday Night Raw. Short video to my surprise. I think it's because I skipped the backstage segment. But anyways, that would do it. In terms of grading, I give this show, honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the Jey Uso, Sami Zayn matches. I didn't think that was necessary. Plus, just Finn Balor and Gunther as the main event, just have Finn Balor get choked out. That was horrible, but kind of understanding the storyline with Damian Priest and Gunther. So I'm actually gonna give it a bit of a low rating. So I'm gonna give this I'll say like a B minus. Yeah.
I will give it a. I'll give this show. It wasn't too bad. I'll give it a C plus. In terms
Oh
of
boy.
rating.
That's like our first C in like forever. I don't even remember the last time either one of us gave this a show a C.
Yeah, well, I gave it a
I
C
was
plus. It's
actually
just about.
thinking I was actually thinking like a plain C or a C minus.
I gave it a C plus. So
So I'm gonna, you know what? Actually, yeah. Actually, I'm changing my rating. I'm gonna go C plus with you. I'm going with you. So yeah, I'm going C plus actually. So yeah, so that would do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry we're late for this broadcast. It's actually Thursday afternoon. So yeah, we had all week to do this, but we were kind of iffy. But anyways, that would do it. Last Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam. SummerSlam is this Saturday, I believe, August 3rd. So be sure to stream on Peacock. Check it out. There's a lot of great matches. Me and Canadian Yorker are going to do our SummerSlam predictions, I believe, after this video. So right away. So be sure to check that once it's uploaded. But anyways, my name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. Be sure to check out Canadian Yorker's channel, plus our Wrestling Bros channel, which will have the last two broadcasts that I missed. Canadian Yorker did them. It was Monday Night Raw, this past Monday Night Raw, and Friday Night Smackdown, where I couldn't do it because I was out of town. So, but before we go, thank you guys and enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, we see you for the next broadcast. I think that I probably have to do it by myself, but we'll see. But anyways, my name is Bruin Steele. This is Kenny Yorker. Have the best time of your life. The rest of your day, take it easy. Any last second before I end the broadcast, Kenny Yorker.
nope, nope. That's it.
All right, see you guys later.
See you later.